We're live, I believe. So hopefully, if this is working for you, let us know in the comments. Let me see. I like to check YouTube and see if it's on there. Sometimes it takes a minute, but yeah, this is yes, there it is. We're live on YouTube. So thanks for all the thanks for everybody for joining us today. All right, now I can do my script thing. Yeah, so this is Monday, and it is July 3rd, 2023. This is Drawing for Tattooers. I'm your host, James Wisdom. I tattoo at Artistic Skin Designs in Indianapolis, Indiana. With me this morning, we have Kyle. Hey, Kyle, good morning.
Morning, sir. How we doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Happy July.
Yeah, right.
While we're testing out the live streams again, you can let us know if it's working for you in the chats. We should be streaming out now. And let me tell you a little bit about reinventing and the reinventing community. So, if I may, I will share my screen with you. Got a lot of screens open today. Okay. Weird. Technical difficulties, but we're gonna get it. Okay. So I'll just share this one. Share, and there. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you all for joining us, and welcome to Guy Atchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, where tattooers, collectors, apprentices, and the curious are all encouraged to join in these live stream and real-world events. Our aim is to share and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every single day, and with your help, we've become a quality network of live and on-demand tattoo and art-related content. You can find Reinventing the Tattoo, the app, on the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store. Just by going on there, you should be able to gain access to the community. You can check out all of the courses. They're a la carte, right? So you can pick out the courses that you are really interested in. It's a pretty good value based on like all of the content that is offered. So yeah, you might want to check it out. And then of course, there's all of the content that we put on Reinventing. So there's of course, these shows, which we'll certainly check out in a minute. And then we also have a podcast that you can find in all the major podcast directories, Apple, Spotify, as well as our Roku page. We also have a YouTube channel and a Facebook page as well. So there's all kinds of places and ways to find us. But yeah, if I scroll down here, should be able to find some of the upcoming shows that are being offered. Yeah. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom here, we have a calendar, events calendar, right? And so on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, you can find the Skill Building Sundays drawing group hosted by Jason Leeser. On Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern, we have Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom. That's me. That's this show. You made it. So at 11 a.m., we have the Tattoo Weekly. At 5 p.m. Eastern on Mondays, we have Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripple. At 9 p.m. Eastern on Mondays, we have the Reinventing subscribers exclusive drawing group. So look into joining that. That's a lot of fun. We always love it when new people can make it to the subscribers drawing group. Followed on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. the Tattoo Now show. And then on Thursdays at 6 p.m., we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast hosted by Fawn Baker. And Kyle Bernstein's on that show. They got the whole Red Tree gang. They're Morrison's shop from Ohio. It's a very cool show. So they're all very cool shows. So you got to check them out. Right. We'll take a minute, recognize our sponsors. And so let's see if I can share a different screen. Hang in there, gang. This one. Share this screen. I think I know the issue. Yes. Yeah. Okay. There we go. World Tattoo Events. WorldTattooEvents.com is the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. Lots of updates as conventions are rescheduling like crazy. So for all the latest on tattoo conventions and tattoo events worldwide, check out World Tattoo Events. Tattoo Now. Tattoo Now is technology for tattooers, the leading edge in professional development management, and digital tools for tattooers of all levels. There are upgrades competitive with any CRM, mailing list, or software that's out there. So be sure to check out Tattoo Now, ask for Gabe. And then, of course, we'd also like to thank Guy Atchison for being the founder and inspiration behind the Reinventing the Tattoo community. You can learn more about Guy Atchison by visiting guyatchison.com, where you can find paintings, prints, tattoo machines, as well as you can learn Guy's story about being a painter who has navigated the world of tattooing. So yeah, check out more at guyatchison.com. And then Tattooing Wisdom, that's my site. So always working on it, updating it. So check it out. And you can ask my chatbot questions. It's fun. It's fun to do, and it helps train it. Right. So any question you ask, it's going to help. It's going to help it become a better chatbot. Right. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So send your positive reviews to the Reinventing the Tattoo at management at Reinventing the Tattoo, and then of course you can leave them in the comments of our program. And I think that's going to do it for those announcements. Thanks everybody for hanging in there. Good morning, Kyle. Good morning, Spirit. So great to see you today.
Morning.
Good morning.
How's
How's everybody doing? I'm doing good. Yeah. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. What's new with everybody? Any exciting projects you're working on? Any new things going on?
Yeah, I've made some progress in my black and gray for sure. Trying to figure out like sculpting wise, I'm working on a Doc Holliday portrait, and
Ooh, love Doc Holliday.
I didn't get a whole lot of, because it had to be a short session, because the gentleman, he comes up with his dad every time, and his dad had to wake up at like 3 a.m. the next day, so it was a short session. But I was able to work on it somewhat, and I'm pleased with where it's going, for damn sure. So I'm very, very excited about that. And I'm definitely putting out more of my own original artworks and trying to get more people to do that stuff. So that's exciting. So yeah, just a bunch of fun stuff.
How long have you done black and gray, like realism? Before tattooing, how like is this like the direction you wanted to go with your art for the most part?
I want to say like with the black and gray stuff, like it was a lot more like cartoony things before. I would still do like a little bit of realism, but I never really did like portraits or anything like that. It wasn't until like I got into tattooing that I really want to start on like portraits and that stuff. Like, and I've always drawn with like pencil and paper, so the black and gray has just been like everything I did. I rarely
Mm-hmm.
did color. I messed around with it like a few times, but like I didn't take it as seriously as like the black and gray side of things.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Oh, well, for me, like as far like before tattooing, believe it or not, I didn't really draw a lot. Like I did like just like a lot of like abstract type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, it was tattooing that kind of made me a better artist. You know, yeah, yeah. I mean, so I'm kind of trying to find myself now. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
find the style that I kind of want to work on and want to, really go towards. For a while I thought it was color. I thought I wanted to be a color artist, but I'm finding that color is just an illusion. Like it doesn't really exist. So it's like it's really all about the values and the tones. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's leading me more and more to black and gray,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm wondering, I'm just like, is there something that I should have been doing before? Like, why? It's almost like, why are so many other people able to do black and gray but me? You know what I'm saying? And that might be
Mm-hmm.
a very egotistical way of looking at it. I imagine it is. But what is it? You know what I'm saying? It's got to be so difficult. Oh, God.
Oh, I don't know if it'd be like egotistical. It's like kind of like that self-criticism type of thing, you know what I mean? Like, why can't I produce the same quality as this person or that person, like is it the technique? Is it, am I not like, do I not know my values enough? Like what is it that where it's keeping me from getting to that point, you know what I mean? So like I wouldn't really
Mhm.
think it's egotistical. It's like more of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a motivational thing. Like, how do I get to this point? You know? Um,
Yeah.
so it definitely makes you want to do more research and practice more and try things, So it's a good thing,
Mhm. And thanks, man. And because I'm working at the shop now, and everybody there is just a beast, and I'm just a low man on the totem pole. So I'm just kind of going through it now, hating everything I do, loving everything I do, but everybody's just so gracious with their information, and that's been really fun, and just being able to like just pop up and see what they're doing, you know, just to kind of get to ask questions and whatnot. Um, so yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
that's
learned anything new since the last time? Because I think the last show that we did, the last show I was on, you had an epiphany, and it was that you were saying that you there were a few things that you learned. It was about your the slowing down, running your needles, a lot softer.
mhm.
And it's not so much about the depth so much as it is about, just you could just brushing it in and layering it in. Have you been
Yeah.
good?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's definitely like it's very reminiscent of like when you have your pencil and you just like lightly hitting the paper, it's always been like to me, it's always been like get the needles in the skin and make sure the needles are in the skin and this, that, and the other thing. Like, and it always caused way too much trauma. And like I just didn't realize how easily it is to go too deep. And like it was just, I don't know why I got into that point. But the way that the building up of the black and gray now, that way it's it's easier, but I, it takes a little bit longer.
Mm,
Definitely need a lot more patience with it. Um, I did a hummingbird, and I tried the kind of the same process with it, and I did everything with like a 5 liner, and it just the color buildup took a long time, but it just the color blends and everything turned out so much more smooth. Like it turned out a lot smoother than
hmm
my usual colors. So being able to um, just lightly brush the skin with the black and gray, and like the black and gray goes in so much easier than color does. So
hmm
it's a lot easier to lightly mark it here and lightly mark over there, and stuff like that just slowly build your stuff up compared to like having to pack everything in and get everything done 100% right then and there.
Right.
So it's a lot more of like a, I don't know, like sketching approach toward like your cross hatching and stuff like that. You do a base here, you kind of scratch it, and then you go over here, do a little bit more, and then come back to that spot after it's calmed down a little bit and kind of hit it at a different angle. Because yeah, like the mark making, like in person, like eye to eye, like the black and gray, like yeah, it looks great, but then like I take like the polarized filter pictures. And that's not like, I like the polarized filter. I know there's a lot of like controversy to it, but I like that in the sense that it shows all your flaws, like they're just there. And so I've never really been happy with the mark making, but like with this way, in this process of doing it, like it's so much more aesthetically pleasing to myself. I can bring it up. Let me bring it up and I can show you. There we go. So yeah, it's just like the cheekbone, like this area right here. Oh hey, let's freaking, yeah, this area right here is just so pleasing to me. It's just all smooth, and there's like slow transitions from here into here. Like I still got to build these spots up because it's, you know, you still got your darker areas and everything like that. But it's just so nice to be able to lightly brush it all in, and then like it'll get red and irritated, and I'll just go somewhere else for a little bit and work on that, and then go back to it and just blend it out a bit more. And it's, I don't know, it's just so much nicer. Definitely a lot more aesthetically pleasing, because like the other mark making that I was doing, it would just, like it looked okay, you know, to the naked eye, it looked all right. But then like when I do the polarized filter, it just, the mark making was so chaotic. It was just messy. I haven't liked that. It bugged the crap out of me. But doing this lightly, brushing it in and moving around a bit more and giving the skin a lot of room to breathe has just, yeah, it's just made it so much nicer and prettier, whatever the hell. I know this portrait isn't finished, but I'm already stoked on where it's at.
It looks really good, dude. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. So just seeing him, like, it looks really good.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, and another thing that like usually for like portraits, I've always been told to like use a liner for like the eyes and stuff like that. And so I have, but like this one, I feel like I would have been happier if I did like, say like a 5 curve mag or 7 curve mag and did it that way. Just because like you look at that and it's all super sharp and everything like that, but like the shape of the eye here, it's like more of like that, and you know, you got a lot more variation, and it's a lot softer of edges and everything like that than just some, you know, hard edge. But yeah, that's what I've been figuring out on the black and gray scheme of things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, that made perfect sense. Do you how did you make your gray wash with this? Are these because it looks like there's some opaque gray in here.
So I've been using Raw's whitewash set. So it has a little bit of white ink in the gray wash, and it has a lot more of like a grayish hue to it. I should have taken a picture of the hill shot, but yeah, it definitely has a lot more of an opaque gray feel. I started out on
What's it called?
Raw Ink's whitewash set. That's what I've been using. I tried to do like the whole black and gray not too long ago, and it's just I was trying to walk on a wet floor, man. Like it's not happening. I've been using this stuff for way too long, but yeah. So
yeah, no, this is cool. Dang, what's up in that lower left hand corner? Go back to
The
that
the colorful piece.
Alex Gray piece.
Oh yeah, that's something that I started this week on a shoulder blade.
What?
Yeah. It's dude, like there's a lot to it. And it's gonna take some time. So like, yeah.
How many hours so far do you have in the Doc Holiday piece?
I want to say that was about, because we got there, it took us a little bit to get everything going 100%. We had to be done by 6, so I want to say maybe like 4 hours.
Damn, that's a lot of work in 4 hours.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
definitely. I mean,
I
to
I
me,
say
it
so
is.
too, because I'm a slow tattooer.
that's like the perfect spot to be at, being at your pace, you know.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that part out. I'm still trying to. I think I might be getting a little faster, but I don't know. I don't want to get faster. You know what I mean? Like, because old school tattoo artist. I can't believe. I mean, I can say I kind of an old school tattoo artist, but like I was just raised on hard and fast, get them out the door. But I I want to grow, so
Yeah.
slow it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that. I've been working on that too. And like what I've been really doing, I guess it's more of like a self-improvement thing of just like standing my ground and being like, hey, this is what I need in order to produce the best product that I possibly can. I have to I have to do it. These things have to be this certain way. And I know it sounds picky and it can kind of come off rude, but like it's I don't know, like you're in a crowd and something emergency happens, you've got to move everybody out of the way type of thing. Like you've got to stand your ground and you've got to set your environment to make it the most productive thing for yourself. So really working with client, because I like in the back of my mind, I'm always worried like the client's pocketbook and this, that, and the other thing. And like, I'm like, oh, I gotta hurry. I don't want to waste their entire day. Like I get so ramped
Yeah.
up and stuff like that, that I try to cut corners. And it always messes it up. Always, every single time. There's no doubt about it. So working on really just planting your feet to the ground and being like, this is what I need in order to produce the best product I can for this certain design. That's helped out. And taking your time is a huge thing, like not being able to be, not having that rush factor to where you're able to take time and care into this piece is a huge thing. And it's like, going too slow or going too fast, whatever, like everybody works at their own pace and stuff like that. But I guess just like setting the environment that's best for you is huge.
I think that's good because I'll get the phone call. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because like you'll start to like me, if when I don't do that, and I find myself like resenting the client while I'm doing the tattoo secretly, you know what I mean? Like, giving them thoughts that they did not have. This person, I'm tattooing, I'm like, this person thinks that this should be done in 5 minutes. They never said that, you know what I mean? But I think that just like you say, it's good, to educate the client, say, hey, really and truthfully, I really don't, I'm really not trying to milk the clock here. I'm really not trying to, I will make more money off of you by being honest and integrity than robbing, you know what I'm saying? Then, that it really does take this time. And yeah. I mean, I guess I do know a tattoo artist or two that can speed through stuff and it just comes out amazing, but that's not me.
Yeah, like, because realistically, like it's out of your hands and it's out of the client's hands about how fast you're going to be able to go with all the factors like skin, what the hell you're tattooing and everything like that. Like it's out of both of your hands and you're just trying to make sure that you translate this image the best that you can. And it's going to take as much time as that thing needs.
It's out of both of our hands. I like that. That's a good point.
Yeah, like you can't determine exactly like this piece here is going to take me 53 minutes and 42 seconds, and this piece is going to be 17 minutes. Like there's no way to do that. I guess if you could, you really wanted to time yourself and try to get something done that quick. It's not going to look great. It's there, but
Yeah.
like it's not going to look good. And it's, yeah. So
I think that something that I'm really kind of getting from this conversation is about the process, and so what I mean is like, so often, when we're doing tattooing, we really are sort of focused on like the expectation, right, of the customer. And so it's like if it's not like if it doesn't look 100% at a certain point in the in the process, we get self-conscious, or maybe it seems like they're losing us or something like that. So I like what you're saying. You're both kind of saying about educating the customer about these things. We also need to stay informed ourselves about, like, everybody's process is going to differ, right? But I think something that I get from making other work, other paintings, other drawings and stuff, even, of course, in tattooing, it comes this way too. Like, there are these stages of development, and how it kind of goes through this, this very ugly stage, right? It's like it's an ugly duckling, right? It's not there yet, and it looks terrible.
Yeah.
And it has to, kind of emerge out of this, for it to work. I mean, I think even people that are, let's say they're extremely efficient. They go very quickly through it. Of course, there's gonna be these gaps in between the beginning, wherever that is, and then this ending, right? This sort of finished product. And so if you're doing something very elaborate, you're doing something that's more painterly in some way, there's going to be all of this development that happens. So I guess it's getting comfortable with that. Being uncomfortable part is important for me. It's something that I'm always working on personally. And something that may help, that could help, is like taking progress photographs. It's easy to take, it's easy to document, like, the way things are going. But this is a way not only for you to chart, what it is that you're doing, but it might be a way to start to communicate to a client, especially if it's a similar type of project. It's like, look, it's going to take me, this first session, we're probably going to get roughly to this spot. You know what I mean? It might look like this, but then as that collection becomes more filled out, or that documentation becomes more exemplary of the work that you're doing, now you have, I think, a sort of proof of concept that you can, start to talk to people about, like, this is going to take, I'm going to estimate a roughly this many sessions or something. This is going to look like this at these certain stages, roughly. And then everybody's more comfortable, like, going through this uncomfortable thing, right? It is like the gestation of the project before it's born. It hurts the whole way.
Yeah, it does, and I've had a few, like, working at this new shop, I've had a few clients have, a few issues with that issue, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll stop, in the middle of the tattoo, wrap them up, send them home, set them up for another session, and they'll call the owner, and they'll say, oh, this tattoo doesn't look anything like the picture, what's wrong with this guy, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, it's not finished. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh, it's like, it's the worst. It's the worst. God, and you're right. You just gotta educate them on the process, and Hmm.
Yeah,
It's a
I
different
guess
time.
it is. It is. I guess like that's definitely an area that I lack is like I could definitely be more communicative of what I'm doing, why I'm doing certain things within the tattoo to the client, and just trying to keep them up to date with the process as much as possible. I think that's definitely an area I can improve upon. Because that might make things, I don't know, just to have them on the same page and just right there with you throughout the process. It might, I don't know, it might make them feel like more like they're a lot more part of the process than just showing up, sitting down, getting tattooed and leaving. I don't know, but like, yeah, the communication process is, I guess, is probably a lot bigger than what I think it is.
I never regret it. You know what I mean? If I want to, like, I try to talk to them about what it is that my strategy. You know what I mean? It's like, this is strategy. And no, I mean, but beforehand, you know what I mean? Like, it's, if you do it after you get done and you're like, hey, I was trying to do this. There's something about that can feel a bit of, like justification, right?
Okay.
Rather than rather than sort of like you were saying, just letting them in on it, letting them in on what's happening. I'm sure all of us could work on our communication and be more effective in how it is that we're, guiding them through this. You know what I mean? Because it's like, a lot of times what we do is a procedure, obviously. And so I think of a lot of times about like, I have to go to the dentist or I have to go to the eye doctor or whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a lot of times you're just putting it total trust in their hands to just get it done,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a perfect job. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
You're just like assuming it's going to be perfect. And there's probably a lot of things that you just accept as like, yep, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And with tattooing, it's so, of course, it's this personal thing, but it's something that you wear. It's something that is like oftentimes very highly visible and as a representation of you, on your surface, right? And so if it's not doesn't exceed their expectations, it's likely they're going to be disappointed and upset, and there's all kinds of emotions that are going to be tied up into it. So I agree with it. Trying to work harder on like being like, yep, this is how I like to work. That setting your sort of your space. This is what I need to make it to make it what it's to make it its best. But yeah, no, it's not easy, and it's also probably something, like I said, it's there's probably going to be exceptions. It can't be a rule, or there's going to be people that are like, like I want it this way. When I leave, I want it to be like this. And so, you have to navigate that somehow, and it's you know part of the job, right? So
Do you guys work in custom? What would be considered custom shops, or do you work at street shops?
mine is a street shop with with a custom flair, right?
Facts. No, that's facts. Yeah, yeah. I think that's kind of what we are too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
like
kind of
it.
what we are.
I like having walk-ins. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I love doing walk-ins. And so, oh, cool. I love doing walk-ins, and I love doing appointments and like spending time developing custom pieces and things for everybody. Um, there's just I mean there's always something really about serving people, right? There's something that's I find I get a lot of fulfillment out of not probably not as much, nothing, it's not everything's the same, right? But like there's
No,
some
it's
people
fun
come
though.
in
It
and
is.
what's that?
Yeah, it is. It is fun. Like
Yeah.
you get to do the whole little carny shuffle, and you know what I'm saying, and get them to come in, and yeah, it's fun.
But sometimes you do these little tattoos for people and they're really important. You know what I mean to them.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like really powerful, and also like just a huge part of the job. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
like this little tiny thing, and like Kyle was saying, you got to take your time. It's like, why rush that? I get it. It's not the most money. You know what I mean? You might not post it or something like that, but it's like it's going to be super important to that individual, and then also you know again, it's a way for you to really practice your craft, and so yeah, I think there's a lot of value in that. So,
A lot of,
yeah.
a lot of
Hello.
Hey, Elise.
Good
Hey.
morning. I can probably only hop on for a minute because my flight goes out today, but hello, everyone.
Hello.
So where are you
How
where are you
you been?
joining us from today, Elise?
I am in Tucson. Here, I'll show you what my view is.
That's terrible.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you guys find that strip mall yet?
Yeah. We went and hung out at the strip mall yesterday. They had a nice gelato place and a lot of nice shops and stuff. So it was cool.
Cool. That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
you're in Arizona. Did you get a chance to meet up with Kyle?
I did. I met Kyle and his wife Kat. It was awesome.
Yeah, we went out to a breakfast place, Bisbee Breakfast Club. It's a pretty decent place. It's not bad at all.
It was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, I've never done that before. I've never talked to somebody online and like met them in person. Never done that before. So that was a first. So that was cool.
I have to say, I don't think I have either.
Yeah, dude. I asked the wife that when we were driving the car. I was like, "Have you done that before?" And she's like, "No, I haven't." So I was like, "Oh, hey, new experience for everybody."
Yeah, it is strange, like the world's colliding, right? Online and in real life.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but I mean, hopefully we'll all meet. You know what I mean? One day, like hopefully we'll
Yeah.
all get together.
We will.
Maybe maybe there'll be like a really cool reinventing convention or something like that, right? Could
Yeah.
be
That would be
who
awesome.
knows?
That
Maybe
would be cool.
party at Guy's house, right? Like that'd be
And
cool.
just let me let y'all know ahead of time, I can exist in any awkward space. So if we have like an awkward silence or anything, I'm very comfortable in that moment. So just to let you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think too, it's funny because we like a lot of times we'll have really beautiful images that we're all looking at here together, and it's like we're all dumbfounded by its beauty and its presence. But there's also a podcast of the show,
Right.
and so it's funny, you know what I mean? Like, so if you're if you're listening to us on the podcast, thank you. Appreciate
100%.
you as a listener. And of course, if you're on social media watching us, like and subscribe, because that's always helpful. But I think too, what really I get a lot from is interacting with all of you and getting to hear your stories, and getting to share our artwork with each other, getting that feedback. And I think so. I think even if you can't join us, hopefully you're doing something like this with your crew. You know what I mean? You're showing your work to your colleagues. You're talking about artwork. You're talking about the stuff that is like so we talk about work stuff. You know what I mean? But also we also share our love of art and stuff. And I think maybe in that way we can be an example, and that can be something that could be powerful in this world, right? So yeah, that's
100%. To
but
just to have that feedback, just to be able to bounce stuff off of other people, because like
Yeah.
to see things that you don't. You've been staring at the same four walls for, the last however long, and then somebody else comes in the room and they're like, well, what's that? And you're like, what do you mean? Oh, that thing. Oh, okay, I get it now, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a new drawing I'd like to show, if I
Please.
may. Let me see if I can pull it up here. And it's in here somewhere. Yeah. So this is a commission that I think it's done. I'm still working on it a little bit. So right.
Oh, James, dude.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
Heck yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
You nailed it.
I appreciate it. So colored pencil. I don't know. Maybe there's probably some other there's probably some areas that I should tighten up a bit. You know what I mean? And then also, it could be a little bit more solid. That's the thing about colored pencils. They always sort of waffle. You know what I mean? Go back and forth. Like, should it be super smooth, or colored pencils are kind of waxy. So they're kind of like tooth of the paper. There's always going to be these little voids and stuff that sort of pop up. It is on Bristol board or something. There's a very light tooth, but yeah, no, it's, you know what? I'm glad I took I kind of took a day off from it, and I tattooed all day, and now I'm just kind of looking at it again. It's like, yeah, there's a few things I'm gonna address. Luckily, I didn't get rid of it yet, but
Awesome.
yeah.
I think it looks really nice, man.
Yeah.
Tooth, I definitely
Yeah.
understand what you mean with the tooth of the paper, but I don't. It definitely wasn't what I was thinking. I just think it's a really nice piece.
But I was really, really identifying with the conversation that you and Kyle were having earlier about taking your time and this was what I was thinking about. Yeah, there was all these moments in the middle of this work where it was really, it really is it's going sideways. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? But you have to work through that, I guess. And even if it doesn't turn out exactly how you planned and stuff, I guess you gotta see it through, right? Gotta see it through to the end. So
The reflection in the glasses is amazing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Thank you. Well, that's the thing. It's her loved ones are taking a photograph of her, and so you see this reflection in the glasses. So I kind of was like, it's another portrait inside of the portrait. It's another image within the image. So I wanted to make that something that was, had some care, but also it's there's still a whole lot of other things that are going on in it. So we don't want to distract. It's about her, right? So we wanted to, her to be the focal point, but yeah.
You said there were things that you were looking at, you wanted to change. What would that be?
Right. So I think so in the reference there's there's another flower that's on the to the upper right hand side. So I kind of have a little bit of indication of some red up there. I don't think I need to detail it, but perhaps that area could be a little bit more. There could be a little bit more to it, I think, without going overboard and stuff. And then probably just maybe sharpen my pencils. They're getting dull by, you know what I mean? They get
Yeah.
you're working. It's like your needles. To be honest,
Yep.
I really have to say this is something that like that guy Etchison was talking about. Like, so if you're taking well, his curriculum, he does offer like some really, like very cool long videos where he's like working, he's talking about stuff, and I get a lot from it. But something he mentioned was like, it's like really, a lot of times your needles they're going to start to dull, and you're going to inevitably sort of hit your ink cap or something, like, what I mean, something's going to happen. It's like it's going to lose performance as you're going. So if you're still you're using this needle for hours and hours and hours, it's like maybe, especially if you're using cartridges, it might be a little bit even simpler. You just change it out, kind of sharpen it up again. Maybe that sounds crazy to everybody, but I really kind of think that there might be something to it. It's just like the old thing with tubes. If you use stainless steel tubes, if you did in the past, or if you still do, those also lose performance after a few uses. They really start to diminish. So so your tools, the sharpness of them, I think is it's a big part of it. So anyway, I need to sharpen my pencils, and there's a few little areas that I would detail or make just more crisp. I'm really into Art Nouveau and Alphonse Mucha and stuff. So I think that's kind of the thing I'm going with, the shapes, all of that. It's a work in progress. But yeah, any feedback? Anybody see anything? Because I think that's always I'm always into that.
I think with the shading on the flower and the shading on the woman, for me, might not match as much.
Okay.
I think the shading on the woman is really, really, really like deep and saturated, whereas the flower is a bit more one note, and it doesn't necessarily look bad. It just looks, I don't know. I think it could match a bit better, maybe deepening the inside of the petals, like where the stamen is. I'm not sure what your reference looks like.
You're like right on the money with that. And so yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I was like, I think at the time I'm thinking like, oh, I really want to bring focus to her, but now getting a chance to look at it, and I agree with you, Elise. I really do. I think they could have a little bit more continuity, and with it doesn't, it's not gonna distract. It's gonna be, like you said, they'll match.
Cohesive.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Do you feel like the hair, the one that's that gap, like the inner side of the hair, that's like complementing the contour of her face, the darker area, do you feel like the lighter areas need to be a little bit darker, or does that make sense?
I think so, but could you keep going? I'd love to hear.
So the A to B to C to D. Yeah, I feel like it might just need to darken it to like lower the contrast, just to kind of help silhouette that side of the face just a little bit more. That's the only thing that I think. I don't know though, so.
No, that makes perfect sense to me. You know what I mean? Just to sort of, even if it's not like all this detailed stuff, just push the value down a little bit, right? Just kind of give it a bit of a, so you don't have all that light stuff everywhere. It'll bring the highlights up. I think that's what I would.
Yeah.
That's what I would sort of. I totally agree. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because like I guess like in that area, I wouldn't pay much attention to it. Like the if you're looking at it like a photo of a picture, like that area of her hair, it's not like it's not going to be like the main focal point, like you got her face and stuff like that. So I guess like just lowering the contrast and lowering the interest in that area, you know,
Yeah.
might work.
Totally.
Have you tried Prisma?
These are all Prismacolors.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I find that the video and the pictures never do colored pencils justice. In person, the artwork always looks phenomenal compared to the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to see that in person.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
I think it would have taken a little too long for you to saturate that whole thing. For you to sit
Oh,
there
yeah.
and fight with the tooth.
There are
Mm-hmm.
ways to sort of melt it. Like you can use solvent or you can use alcohol or something like that and sort of brush it on and it like
Mm.
kind of melts, colored pencil together. But you know, it definitely is like it does something weird to the way it adheres to the paper, which that can be an issue. It's also like once you start doing it, it's like smudging it around. It does. Um, uh, it is a nice technique, right? You can sort of use it, like use some solvent, make it all sort of cohesive, and then you can go back on top of it. So yeah, there are definitely some techniques to get it to be more less toothy. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, for this one, I was like, all right, I'm gonna stick with it. Have a little bit of tooth, like colored pencil. Um, could just like really go over it and nail it down, I suppose. I think I'm definitely gonna try what Elise and Kyle said first. Sort of give it a little bit more, sort of rendering in a few places. And if I decide to go all the way with it and emboss the paper like crazy, then well, I'll show it again, right? I'll show you what I come up with. But thank you everybody for checking it out and give me some feedback and stuff. Um, yeah, we're all working on stuff. We're all trying to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Thank you for sharing, man. That's
no,
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, totally.
It was great.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
One day when I grow up, my A to B will be like that.
Mhm.
um, so I think does anybody have anything else that they were wanting to share?
I got nothing this week.
That's no pressure. Um, well, does anybody want to draw? How about that? Does anybody feel like drawing something? Yeah, if you
Yeah.
wish,
Always.
right? If you'd like to draw, I kind of wanted to go over, a little bit of. I promised like some life drawing this week. So
Oh.
I figured if you want to draw, we could draw. We'll draw for about I don't know 10, 20 minutes or something like that, and then we can wrap it up and then go on about our week. So uh, let me. I'll share my screen. Hang out and draw with us if you wish, and that would be it would be very cool if you would be able to join. So share share my screen. Okay, cool. Right. So what's been sort of new with Pose Maniacs, which is kind of interesting. They have they have all of these body shots. There's a model that poses, and so he gets in all these poses. It's nice because, well, I believe it's a real person. Pose Maniacs uses a lot of AI generated stuff, and of course we've used them in the past. We've referenced uh, you know, their écrochet, their muscular, sort of figure. Um, But this new thing that they're offering is it's kind of nice, right? So if you need like an anatomy reference, I think it can be helpful. If you want to like sort of design your own characters or something, I think that's that's always a fun could be a fun practice. It could be something that you really are quite good at, quite adept at. So again, this could be used for tattooing, of course, but I mean, you can make make comic books or your own original characters, whatever you're into. Um, but again, sort of learning anatomy and learning how to draw from life. It may just be something that's a helpful sort of practice that you do. It might be something that you take more seriously, and it becomes a real part of the art making that you make. Um, but I do believe like that there's all kinds of things that you get from it that they sort of bleed their way into whatever it is that you're doing. Even if you're writing books or baking cakes or anything like that. I know that may sound far fetched, but learning to draw from life, I think, can be like a really beautiful thing. So right, so I have just a little time lapse of the sketching process. I worked through this figure. Um, I don't know. I think I spent about 10 minutes or something on it. And it could certainly be more accurate. But again, I think things that I'm looking for, right, are really lines and edges. There, we don't see lines, of course, in nature, right? But of course, we sort of we perceive them in a certain way, right? It's the edge of one surface, like against the background, or another, an object against another object. These sorts of things. So. What I was really kind of looking for, were all of these landmarks, right? Like I was looking for like, you know, the overall width, right, of this body, right? The overall width versus the overall height.
Mm.
Where's the middle, right? And then just you could of course, like, you could start to think about like an envelope that where everything comes together. Everything could be encapsulated inside the envelope. Um, but I think also, something that I thought was, something that I think is useful. And again, I think this really, what this is like sort of directly applicable is like when you're using a photographic reference and you're trying to, sort of figure out like uh, where to shade something, right? Or even colors and stuff. Looking for these alignments, there's this edge of the head. It had a very close relationship to the knee. I think the knee might have been just sort of slightly more forward than the front of the head. The chin really seemed to align like right there, roughly. The back of the knee. This elbow right here. There was just all these they were very close, and so if it's a little bit more forward, a little bit more back, it was helpful in gaining just a little bit of accuracy. So let's I'm gonna pull up another figure, and we'll give it a try.
So I have a question, sir.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
So you were talking about like, oh, I could have made it like more accurate or whatever, stuff like that. So, but like in these situations and then these studies, is it more important to get the emotion of the pose compared to the accuracy of it? Is that a difference?
I think that there is a difference. It depends on what you're going for.
Okay.
But but yeah, I could have got more emotional too, right? I could have increased the emotional accuracy. I could have increased the, the anatomical accuracy. Or I, I what's interesting, I think, too, is like this idea of, intention, right? Again, you want to have intention and stuff, but it's like the Freudian slip is like, it's not what you intended to say, it's what you actually say. So, and our drawings are this way also, I believe, right? That like we can intend all we want, but again, it's what actually comes out in it is that's the interesting bit, right? That's the unconscious part. It's the there's a documentation. It's a documentation of all of your actions and your thinking and stuff. Um, so yeah, I think I love that. Yes, you can try to capture the emotion, and you can the sort of the fluid movement that's uh, that you're sort of interpreting.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's it's totally valid. There's all sorts of things, but again, it's sort of like like your Doc Holliday portrait. There's an emotion that you're capturing too, and but you gotta hit all the accuracy on that, right, for it to really sort of work. Again, there's a bit of interpretation. It's not a photograph, it's a tattoo. Like my drawing, it's not a photograph, it's a drawing. There's all sorts of, I don't want to call it settling, but I mean, there's all, I don't want to call it compromise, but you run up against the limit of your medium, and you don't know where that is until you run up into it. So that's does that make
Yeah.
was that helpful?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
But I don't have an answer there either. You know what I mean? I think there is always going to be, like, yeah, there's always going to be what you want to say with your art, and so I think that there isn't a wrong. You know what I mean? There isn't a wrongness to it. It's really just it really just ends up being what it is that you. Okay. All right, Amber. See you next time. Thank you for coming today. Yeah, right. There isn't a wrongness. It is really
Thank you,
just
guys. I'll see you soon.
cool. All right, so I'm gonna set a timer. Figure we can, let's maybe we can sketch for like do like a 2-minute thing, and then we'll pick a new one, and maybe we'll go for about 10 minutes or something like that. Right? Let's get warmed up, and then we'll do a little bit more, and then it'll be on to the 4th of July festivities. Okay, so we'll set a 2-minute timer. Now look at that. Let's see. All right, and go. So, I've got my 6B pencil. I got my figure here. All right, so again, I'm probably just gonna start just thinking about an overall composition, and then try to capture a bit of the gesture. It's a little bit of sort of leaning back. I'll also kind of find that middle point. It's anatomically right here at the symphysis pubis, or the like the bottom of the pelvis. That's for the standing figure. That's usually about midway. Looks like the knees are really about midway also. Looking for some alignments, but also just trying to block in overall to the shape. Roughly. Lines up the shoulder. It's the easiest. Get an angle for the bones. Certainly like a midline. Right? Ah, there's 2 minutes.
Son of a bit.
Goes by so fast.
Right?
Like so fast. But you know, like get warmed up, right? That's I think something that's really it's really valuable.
Do I have to
So,
stop?
well, I figured let's just do that warm up. Now let's do a slightly longer one, right?
Oh,
So
all right.
this way we can this way you can get a little bit more get a little bit longer, a little bit further. So
This is funny.
Yeah, I definitely like setting the parameters of like exactly where the top's going to be and where the bottom's going to be. You know, it definitely helps to where it's like, well, this is middle, and this, you know, and we can start gauging of like this is like this many size of hips. Like that makes it so much nicer.
yeah, I think that's a really useful way to go.
Yeah.
But of course, um, sometimes, like we were just saying, like sometimes you just sort of play around with it, and you're just sort of like making lines, not really too concerned about all that stuff. I think there's value in doing both things, but you know, it's like this idea of you know, people that are self-taught. I don't think any of us really exist in a vacuum, right? Even if you haven't you didn't go to art school specifically or something, you're still looking at artwork, right? You're still, you know, hopefully you're like seeking out knowledge in other ways, and that's all we're doing. You know, we're just sort of talking about like a few different approaches, and they may be fruitful for you, but no, like there isn't like a right way. It's just doing it. So, all right, I'm gonna go. Let's go 10 minutes. So if you want to draw with us for 10 more minutes, we did some drawing today. So, um, yeah, we did it. All right, so let's get into it. About 10 minutes or so. And what I'm gonna do is again, I'm gonna kind of start the same way. I like that, just sort of starting off with a bit of the parameters. Here I'm noticing like that there's a, you know, over on the left-hand side, that toe is a little bit lower than on the right, just a little bit, so I might just have a slight angle. But you know, it's very subtle, right? Very subtle for the, you know, for the base. Anyways, if I look over here, the all the way on the left-hand side, the edge of the fist and the edge of the foot, again, they're very, very close. If I were to envelope that, it's a very sort of subtle angle that I'm sort of noticing there. Right. I don't know how high up it is, right? I really don't. You know, so rather than say that I'm gonna absolutely put the, you know, envelope there, it's, you know, if I hold my pencil and look at it, observe that angle, then I'll come pretty close. Anyways, a little bit, another angle right here. If I measure, oops, I measure from this edge to this edge and compare it to the overall height. Pretty close, right? Gives me some basic parameters, right? Having that all. So where's the middle? Pretty much in the same, anatomically it's going to be about the same spot. Okay, so next, just going to block in very crudely where I think everything's going to go. Just the alignments. Overall shape of the torso itself. Now there's like a bit of foreshortening here with the fist. I'm probably going to avoid for the most part like getting too into that for the time being. But again, you know, once you plot it out, you could actually spend some time and make something that really is you know, very convincing, I think. Okay. Right. How's everybody doing?
Terrible.
Mhm.
This is great.
Good. That's the spirit. Terrible. This is great. All of that, I think. It's, you know what? It's like being ticklish, right? It's terrible, but you're laughing.
Where is
it's,
No.
it's kind of this this sort of painful enjoyment.
there?
Um, I think use your erasers and stuff. This is nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna-
I just need that. That's what I need. But I already have the hard ones. I'll get it for you, okay?
Okay.
Well, this is a 4-minute warning, everybody. So we're 6 minutes in. So it's kind of an obvious dark area with shorts, like a lot of pattern. Let's see. So my guesstimations are going to lead me off of my page. But I think that's always the best, the best policy, right? If it's going to fall off the page, let it fall off. Don't try to squeeze it in there. That doesn't.
That's the best part about drawing feet. You don't have to.
Yeah, no, you can squeeze it in too if you want. It's all good, but I think that figuring
My
out
feet,
what it
my
is.
feet look terrible.
picked a difficult one here for our 10-minute pose. But that's the breaks.
Mhm.
That is the breaks sometimes. Alrighty. We'll establish a few planes. You know what I mean? Just side of the, there are different sides of the body, of course, right? And so rather than getting into too many details at this stage, just sort of trust that, you know, I will get to them when the time is right. Thinking about our basic forms, like a cylinder. It's the way that the shorts sort of flow around, like it's kind of elliptical, you know, and there's a sort of elliptical quality to the S shape that it makes. Very interesting. All right. Can't see that other. Can't see my other leg. It's off my. It's off of my composition. So have to do that. Right.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off.
All right.
All right,
Great
I'll
to
see you
see
next
you.
Monday, guys.
Thanks,
Yes, you
Spirit.
too.
Next
See you,
time.
Spirit.
All right, guys. Happy drawing.
Thank you.
See ya.
Area of deeper shadow over here. That's it. 10 minutes. God, it goes by so quick.
Yeah.
It really does.
All right.
But I think, you know, not not too great, but also but also, you know, just a lot of fun. And I think too, like just I really believe in it. I think that like practicing, you know, these things that are difficult and uncomfortable, you know, you may get better at it, but also there's something that it does to inform, you know, you in things that you really want to do, the things that you're really interested in as well. Yeah, there's mine. Well, I think it's there's something. I hope that it captures some of the movement, right? A little bit. It's, you know, it's not. I guess it's a little static. Could be a little bit more gestural, but I think you know, through the process, I certainly, you know, like started, you know, carving things out, and the more that I, you know, the more that I was able to, you know, sort of get rid of things, um, move them a bit, I think the better off it became. But yeah, this that should be a little bit something like that. Anyway, could just mess around with it forever and ever, but super fun. So yeah, this is what's new with Pose Maniacs is, like, you know, some anatomical reference. Well, put you on the spot. If you want to share what you did, I'd love to see it. I'll put you all on. Yeah, please feel invited to share if you like.
We got
Hi.
invaded. This
Hello.
is my 8-year-old.
Hello.
Say
So
hi.
nice to meet you.
That's Mr. Wisdom, Professor Wisdom,
Hi.
and that's Kyle. He's there, and everybody else. Is Elise still on?
No, I think she had to get off to go catch her plane.
So, all right, it's just us today. All right.
Oh, good job.
The light.
Awesome.
The light.
Here, let me. I want to spotlight. Keep it up. Keep it up for a second.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. You did really, really good on that.
Mm-hmm. How did it feel like? How did it feel like doing this sketch so quickly?
nerve-wracking. I've never done very many of these.
Did you? Yeah. So nerve wracking. So there's an uncomfortableness. Did you enjoy the? Were you able to sort of get into, get into it?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Good.
The handful of times that I watched you guys do it, I was doing it on my own, trying to keep up. It's a lot harder than it seems like it would be. That 2 minute and that 10-minute timer, it kind of stretches you out. Then you're measuring and you're looking and you're going back and forth. And it is a lot of fun though. That's the best part.
Mhm.
Love
Yep.
that. No, I love that. That's also, I think too, that's what I would invite everybody, that if you're watching us, you know what I mean? Like, give it a try, because it does, it's totally different in practice than what it seems. You know what I mean? So definitely give it a try, because it's fun, right? It is. It's nerve wracking, and it's like,
Yeah.
there's
One
always,
of my people, they told me that practice, practice, practice. And again, with the cave that that you're nervous about going into, and just trying to keep up with the class, it's way tougher. I mean, I sat and watched, I don't know, hundreds of drawing videos, and they all agree you have to get your hand to do it. You just can't watch. You have to do it.
Mhm.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do it. I think that's that's so true. Um, and again, I'm so glad that you came today, Creature, and drew along with us. And yeah, just it's cool to see you again. So
At a late night, holiday weekend and all. But I do have some great updates if you're interested.
love love to see the updates.
After our last episode, I tore apart all my Wi-Fi and my wiring, and I rewired my waiting area. So we're good on the Wi-Fi now.
Cool.
Excellent.
I got a bunch of supplies for my studio. So by the end of this week, I'll have the inside done, and then I have to attach it to the main sewer, blah blah blah, underneath the house. So that should all be done, and if everything goes according to plan, I'll be contacting the health department next Monday.
Cool. That's exciting.
Yes.
Fingers crossed for you.
Thanks.
Yeah, great work. Good.
So there's update.
No, thank you. Thank you for that. I'm excited.
Okay. So at the beginning of this particular episode, there was a conversation between Spirit and Kyle about black and gray.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to throw in on that conversation real quick, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
The tattooing the value studies on the synthetic skin, I found that by lightly shading in certain areas, but really putting in the dark darks and then transitioning the balance between the two is how I'm able to get such smooth shading. I have to do it just like you were explaining, Kyle, about really softly putting it in and working the tones and taking your time and all of that. But for me to be able to get a faster, I don't know, to get the tattoo done a little more quickly without as much effort, is by going back and forth between the darkest and the light. And now how I'm able to do that without too much difficulty is I have different methods of making my own black and gray, and then black opaque, gray opaque, all of these.
Yeah.
And so I use a combination of a black and gray set that I put white drops in. I use raw product as well. And it seems to work the best. I find that if I use the opaques on darker skin, my wife, she's black. If I try to use those on her, it comes out more blotchy. and almost dirty,
Okay.
like a dust, like how darker skinned people they get ashy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not as prevalent with lighter tones. So I found that the value scale diminishes the darker the skin tone because of the way it reacts through the visibility of the epidermis.
Hmm. Yeah, that
Um,
totally makes sense.
so what I do is I use the darkest dark
Uh-huh.
and the lightest light, and then the middle. Now, my lightest light is typically negative open skin that I have not touched.
Yeah.
For darker skin, I only use black, a medium tone, and then if I use color, I just use 3 shades of green, shades of green, and 3 shades of red. And I never go over that. Otherwise, it tends to be more muddy or blotchy or this or that. So that's how I'm able to get the different gradations on the different skin tones and the different values, and I'm able to do it very effectively. The tools that I use, because you guys talked about that as well, the tools that I use. So I used curved mags for my brush shading. I pat color with flat mags and round shaders. I don't do a lot of drawing like with a 5-liner. I line with them. I the one synthetic skin course I took, I found it very valuable to just get a couple sheets and put them out, and then do a few passes, do some lines, some grays, a couple value studies on those, and put them right by my workstation, because I'm able to glance over at those and know exactly where my values are and how much effort it took to apply that. And I think, let's see, on the tool thing, standard gauge 12s pat color better than bug pin 10s or 8s. I use a lot of bug pin 10s. I don't use many bug pin 8s. I typically use them for shading or sharp edges. Fat lines, I use shaders versus liners if I want that American traditional thick line. But because when you tilt the angle of the machine, you get that I don't know, where it thins out as the machine turns, or your hand is, trying to apply the line. You can see the thicknesses where it varies. So by using a shader with, say, a standard gauge, you get this big fat line that has more leniency, because the taper on a liner creates a focal or foculum, I think, that it's more precise. So you have to be more delicate when using those versus the shader, which just plows it in.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I was offering, I suppose, to send both you and Spirit some of my apprenticeship notes that I've acquired from multiple different mentors, if you're interested, but I didn't want to impose either.
No, the more information, the better.
Okay.
100%. Like any information you can bring to the table, because like the stuff that you've been just saying, it made me like rethink the value scale on darker skin compared to lighter skin. It's not the same, to where like the lighter skin, you have a wider range of values, and the darker the skin, like the range of value kind of shortens a little bit, I guess, if that makes sense. That's how it makes sense to me. So that's huge. And and then like the standard gauge needles of 12s and stuff like that, when you're doing color compared to 10s, like color's a lot thicker than black and gray. So like maybe having a bigger hole for like thicker paint makes it easier for, you know, the color to go in. Like yeah, but like the more information, 100% the better.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Very good. I'm glad to help.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Teamwork.
I
makes the dream
learned
work.
so much from you guys. I mean, I'd love to contribute as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm yeah. Well, send me too, Creature. Love to hear it. Kyle, did you want to show your drawing real quick? You get a
Absolutely.
chance?
Oh yeah. Yeah, let me get that up.
Let's check it out.
I did the no and started focusing on detail compared to the form. So I ended up wasting time. So that's cool.
No, it looks great, man. Yeah. Very nice.
That's
Um,
awesome.
Yeah. No, I'm not seeing like, yeah, no, I'm not seeing it being too getting like away from you or detailed or something. I think there's a really nice structure that you're, kind of developing. So, yeah.
Yeah, just trying to figure out a good way to make sure like the relations of everything, like the size of this and yeah. It's a fun exercise.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's something I feel like it's this thing where if you really work on it diligently, you know what I mean? Like you will be amazed at how, like at how you can sort of, just draw from your observation. It takes a lot of effort, and I think it's easy for it to sort of get rusty, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's drawing from photographs is what we're kind of doing right now. You know what I mean? It's very interesting. But I think drawing from life too. I want to encourage it. I think that it's really something that is can
The
be
main part of the program.
so useful.
Mhm.
No, I love this.
Are we still the ones being spotlighted currently?
No, it's spotlighting Kyle's. Did you have something else you wanted to show?
No, because all I'm seeing on my camera is us.
Yeah, you were spotlit while you were talking about
Right.
everything, and then
I'm just curious why I'm not able. All I see is a teeny tiny picture of his and a whole lot of us.
the drawing.
We dressed up. We got the dog. Yeah.
I get to spend the night at my sister.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Well, not sure what that
Okay.
technical difficulty is. I can see it. I'm looking at a YouTube right now, and I can see Kyle's picture big and bold. So,
Wonderful. Good.
but yeah, let's wrap it up for today. It's really been just an amazing day of like great conversations, and then of course like we got to draw today.
Mission accomplished.
We should draw more often. I think it's something that is it's a great part of the show, and I think a lot of times it is really useful. There's probably like there's so many people who who watch and enjoy like drawing along with us, and so it's so great that that everybody participated, and so I can't thank you enough for coming. Let's do some quick sign-offs, and so if Creature, can we begin with you? If you want to give us your sign-off, tell us who you are, and tell us where we can find you.
I'm Creature. My real name's Chris. Marion, Ohio. Creature's Cave everywhere. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Thanks for doing what you do, everybody. And yeah, we're everywhere. Creature's Cave.
Yeah.
On Facebook, there's a private group. I think that's where the most information goes. So
Okay.
Cool. Thank you, Creature, so much. Kyle, give us your sign-off.
All right. My name is Kyle Olson. I tattoo out of Trinity Art Collective in Tucson, Arizona. If you need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me via the website, trinityartcollective.com, or my Instagram handle is Olson_tattoos. That's OLSON.
Excellent.
And James, thanks again for this class. I look forward to it every single week. I love it. It's awesome. And Creature, thank you for coming again. It's good to see you.
You as well, man. Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Kyle, thank you so much. Appreciate your kind words. And then, of course, like, for showing your incredible tattoo this week, you know, it's like,
Oh, I'm
awesome,
still
dude.
yes.
Yeah, man, that's
Gorgeous.
awesome.
Thank you.
We're all like slack jawed. Anyway, and also I think, you know, you have a very sort of, you know, generous spirit, and you're always, you know, like letting us in on your process, your journey, and then, you know, like you're developing just like us. But I mean, but again, well, we're grateful to have you. So glad that you could come and share with us. Well, I just want to say to everybody again, thanks for coming. I'm James Wisdom. This has been Drawing for Tattooers. We meet every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern on Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo network. So again, we like to say thanks to Guy. If you want to learn more about Guy Aitchison, you can visit guyaitchison.com. You can also check out my website, tattooingwisdom.com, or find me on social media at Tattooing Wisdom. And so, you know, again, everybody, happy 4th of July, and, you know, happy drawing as well.